So this is the park.
So in order to tell this story accurately, we need to take a trip back to 1974. Now, a speedway was opened up in Coos Bay, Oregon, called Ken Park. And this was a major racing facility that was constructed by a guy called Melvin Spates. Now, this place actually still exists today, yet it is called the Coos Bay Speedway. So for years, Ken Park was the scene of a variety of motor shows. Now, at the same time, another interest was growing by another business owner in North Bend, Oregon. A guy called Rob Maney. He owned a bicycle shop, yet took an interest in skateboarding. Now, he was influenced by some kids that were coming into his bike shop and asking if he actually sold skateboards. This sparked an idea for Rod, and he started selling boards. It was not long after this that Rod began organizing local skateboarding contests. Some of these local competitions were gathering around 300 to 400 spectators. He is even quoted saying that he believes that skateboarding is here for good, and he believed that it would be in the Olympics in the near future. So a bit of an interesting visionary Rod was. Rod would eventually start attracting not only locals to his competitions, but also out-of-towners started competing. And this is where he would discover the popularity for the sport and also give birth to the idea of creating the first concrete skate park in Oregon. If we fast forward to 1977, Melvin Spates, owner of Ken Park, and Rob Maney struck a deal, and the Speed World Skateboard Park was opened, which was located on the grounds of Ken Park. And what was built was a bowl that was in the shape of a horseshoe, and in the center of it, there was a bank transition that would allow you to roll between both sides of the horseshoe. At the steepest part of the bowl, there was a 6-foot vert section. There was also a slalom track that was set up, which was also used as a go-kart track. Now, during the same time it opened, there were a few skateboard contests that were held at Speed World. The only one that we can find documentation of was during the 2nd and 3rd of July, 1977, which was called the Northwest Skateboard Tournament. It was actually hosted by Russ Howell, a freestyle champion that is now a skateboarding Hall of Famer. I reached out to a few groups on Facebook to see if I could track down any more information about this place and also any details of when it closed. And what I could find is that it was said a kid snuck into the park after hours and managed to break his arm in the horseshoe bowl. And then after the incident, the kid's family decided to sue Ken Park. I've even tried jumping on Google Earth and checking the aerial shots of this place back in the 80s, and a lot of the historical aerials are really bad quality until you hit around 2004, and then you can see pretty clearly that the bowl is visible. Now today it is totally filled in. You can, however, still see the go-kart track that they used for slalom that is next to it, yet the bowl is buried underground. It would be really interesting to know if this could still be salvageable. It would make an amazing story to try and excavate this place and see what remains. At any rate, this spot and its history are so valuable, and to meet its end in this way is a really sad story.